This is an MJA Inc. Investigations warning. This MJA podcast is rated E for explicit. Some details of a case and language used on this podcast might be upsetting to some of our listeners. Listeners' discretion is advised. And for those who are still with us, kick back and enjoy the show. Welcome to our MJA podcast. This series, Deep into the Woods, Episode 16, Part 7, 12 Missing Person Cold Cases. The NCIC statistics for missing people number over 600,000 a year. There are many missing children and adults that are quickly found alive and well. However, tens of thousands of individuals remain missing. On this podcast, we will profile 12 such cold cases. They have vanished without a trace. One minute they are there, and the next moment they are gone. It's a family's worst nightmare is when they have a loved one who vanishes without a trace. A lot of people ask, how old does an unsolved case have to be before it's considered a cold case? The truth is, it depends on who you are asking. A cold case is defined as an unsolved criminal investigation, such as a homicide or abduction or a missing person, that has stopped being actively pursued due to the lack of evidence and leads to follow. Some of these cases don't have much info to follow concerning the case. But these types of cases have to be profiled because sometimes it just takes one person that hears the circumstances of the case and they realize that they have info about the case. As a nation, we have to do a better job of solving these missing person cold cases. Good evening. My name is Mark, and I will be your host for tonight's show. Joining me later will be our co-host, Olivia. Olivia and I will profile 12 missing person cold cases. We are coming to you from Morrisonville, New York, located in the Adirondack Mountains. Missing person cold cases. Case 1. On May 28, 1976, 25-year-old Paul Robert Hibbert, a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Campbell, Wyoming. Case 2. On November 8, 1981, 21-year-old Amber Elizabeth Scholes, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Rock Springs, Wyoming. Case 3. On September 16, 1977, 18-year-old Robert Louis Christian, a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Madison, Wisconsin. Case 4. On April 3, 1996, 15-year-old Sarah Ann Boostland, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Spooner, Wisconsin. Case 5. On January 1st, 1963, 33-year-old Christopher H. Bridgman, Jr., a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Thurston County, Washington. Case 6. On June 30th, 1989, 30-year-old Julie Ann May Schubert, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Arlington, Washington. Case 7. On April 26, 1990, 32-year-old Rodney Lynn Kaiser, a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Hazel Mountain Section, Virginia. Case 8. On June 18, 1982, 20-year-old Kelly B. Dove, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Harrisonburg, Virginia. Case 9. On October 12, 1973, 23-year-old Douglas H. Brick, a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Salt Lake City, Utah. Case 10. On June 20th, 1979, 47-year-old Mary Catherine Miller, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Provo, Utah. Case 11. On July 2nd, 1993, 23-year-old Johnny Perez, a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Bexar County, Texas. Case 12. On December 14, 1991, 29-year-old Vicki Lynn Nesbitt, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Cedar Park, Texas. Let's take a pause for the cause, and when we return, Olivia will be on the line. Olivia and I will profile 12 missing person cold cases. Be back in a moment. Welcome to our MJA podcast, this series, Deep into the Woods, Episode 16, Part 7, 12 Missing Person Cold Cases. We have Olivia on the line. How are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm hot and ready to move to Alaska.
Okay.
I'm done.
Yeah. Are you ready to dig into these missing person cold cases?
Sure.
Okay. Missing person cold cases. Case 1. Welcome to Wyoming. The Doe Network has 10 males and 15 females listed as being missing from the state of Wyoming. Welcome to Gillette, Wyoming. Missing male. It was on May 28, 1976, is when 25-year-old Paul Robert Hibbard, a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Campbell, Wyoming. On May 23, 1976, 5 days before his disappearance, Paul Hibbard, a geologist with the Birds Exploration, received a phone call from a man stating to work for Hibbard's boss. The man told the 25-year-old Hibbard he needed his work truck and asked him to bring it to Gillette. Hibbard believed the phone call to be a hoax and reported it to his boss, who confirmed his suspicions. Considering what happened, it seems the phone call was a way for Hibbard to come to them in Gillette. On May 28, 1976, the 25-year-old Hibbard and his work truck disappeared while Hibbard was on a routine geological exploration trip in Gillette area. A truck used to locate geological deposits contained $30,000 in radioactive material. On August 20th, 1976, after receiving an anonymous tip, law enforcement found Hibbard's work truck 3 miles north of Upton, Wyoming. The truck was parked in the timbered area near a number of water pits. The truck contained around 20,000 of Paul's equipment and appeared to have been parked there for some time. Inside the truck, blood was found soaked into the seat and the floor mats. The FBI was able to type the blood, but they were unable to turn up any records indicating the 25-year-old Hibbard's blood type to verify if it was his. In January 1977, a man pleaded guilty to grand larceny. This man admitted to stealing almost $10,000 of Hibbard's equipment and insisted Hibbard cooperated in the theft. Police suspect foul play in the 25-year-old Paul Hibbard's disappearance from Gillette, Wyoming. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Campbell County Sheriff's Office, Captain Eric Seaman, at 307-682-7271.
Case 2. Welcome to Rock Springs, Wyoming. Missing female. It was on November 8, 1981, when 21-year-old Amber Elizabeth Schultz, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Rock Springs, Wyoming. November 7, 1981, the 21-year-old Schultz went to a party with her boyfriend and another friend in Rock Springs, Wyoming. Schultz left the party around 3 to 3:30 a.m. on November 8, 1981, with another friend. The friend escorted 21-year-old Schultz back to her residence at Plaza Courts Apartment. Schultz's friend had departed the last time anyone saw 21-year-old Amber Elizabeth Schultz. Schultz's father called the police when he was unable to reach his daughter later that day. Law enforcement entered Schultz's apartment, and investigators found that there was no sign of struggle or forced entry into her home. Schultz's purse and wallet were found in the kitchen, along with a payroll check from a job at a local cleaning service. 21-year-old female's watch was in the bathroom. Investigators determined that Schultz appeared to be preparing her monthly budget when she left her apartment. Schultz's car was missing from the parking lot. It is a white 1971 Oldsmobile two-door coupe with Wyoming plates. 21-year-old Amber Elizabeth Schultz was engaged in a custody battle over her son with her ex-husband at the time of her disappearance. Amber Elizabeth Schultz has parents and friends living in Ohio. Foul play is suspected in the disappearance of 21-year-old Amber Elizabeth Schultz from Rock Springs, Wyoming. If you have any info concerning this case, please call Rock Springs Police Department at 307-352-1575.
Case 3. Welcome to Wisconsin. The Doe Network has 33 males and 43 females listed as being missing from the state of Wisconsin. Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin. Missing male. It was on September 16, 1977 is when 18-year-old Robert Louis Christian, a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Madison, Wisconsin. On that day, the 18-year-old Christian had dinner with his parents at their Madison home. After eating, Christian tossed a change of clothes and his bow and arrow hunting gear in the back of his Hornet station wagon about 5:30 p.m. and headed to the bank. After picking up $25, the 18-year-old Christian planned to drive to Baraboo to meet a friend, Randy Griffith, for a Saturday morning deer hunting in the Baraboo Bluffs. If they were not successful taking a deer, Christian planned to return to Madison that afternoon and attended the Wisconsin Badgers football game. The 18-year-old Christian stopped by at a near Walgreens and picked up a pack of small cigars. Christian probably drove to the Madison Beltline Highway, headed west on Highway 12, and took it north to the Baraboo area. At 9:30 p.m., Griffin's family member called the Christians to say their son Robert had not arrived in Baraboo. The 18-year-old Robert Christian's family began calling authorities in the surrounding counties to find out if Robert had been involved in a car wreck. The Christian family also called the Madison Police Department, who eventually took a report on the disappearance and conducted an investigation. A witness comes forward. On September 16, 1977, at around 8 p.m., a woman visiting a nun at a retreat site encountered a car in her friend's driveway. The vehicle matched the description of the Hornet and had the same license plates. The young male driver of the car matched Robert Christian's description. The witness claims Christian was saying, "I'm looking for my friend. I'm supposed to meet my friend." The young man said he must have went to the wrong place and then drove away east away from the relay tower. The 18-year-old Christian's vehicle was later recovered parked in a driveway near the State Patrol relay antenna on Tower Road, southeast of the city. The wheels, tires, and the batteries were gone. It is unknown if the stripping of the car and Robert Christian's disappearance are connected. Somebody could have found the Hornet after the 18-year-old Christian disappeared and took what they could. The sheriff's department brought in a bloodhound that followed Christian's trail a short distance from where the car was found and then lost the scent at Tower Road. They also used the National Guard helicopters to search open fields in the area. Foul play is suspected in the disappearance of 18-year-old Robert Christian from Madison, Wisconsin. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Sauk County Sheriff's Department Detective Scott Dadham at 608-356-4895.
Case 4. Welcome to Spooner, Wisconsin. Missing female. It was on April 3rd, 1996, when 15-year-old Sarah Ann Bushland, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Spooner, Wisconsin. On that day, the 15-year-old Sarah Bushland was last seen getting off of a school bus at the end of a long driveway where she lived with her mother and stepfather, Spooner, Wisconsin. At least 3 children on the bus saw Sarah Bushland approach a dark-colored pickup truck that pulled into her driveway after the school bus left the stop at around 4 p.m. Ouch. One witness said they saw 15-year-old Bushland get into the truck. The truck backed out of the driveway and went in the direction of the nearby town, although there have been conflicted reports on whether Sarah was actually in the truck or what direction the truck went. 4:37 p.m., according to phone records, when 15-year-old Bushland didn't arrive home, Sarah's stepfather called his father. Both Sarah's mother and stepfather were out of town on the day she disappeared, but returned home when they received a phone call. Police initially treated Sarah's disappearance as a runaway case. July 1999, law enforcement conducted a search of mother and stepfather's property and a trash dump. In August 2000, authorities executed a search warrant on the property in Drag Spring Lake. In May 2013, cadaver dogs reacted at several locations around buildings on the property. On June 19, 2017, the property was searched again. Foul play is suspected in the disappearance of 15-year-old Sarah Ann Bushland from Spooner, Wisconsin. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Washburn County Sheriff's Office at 715-468-4700.
Case 5. Welcome to Washington. The Doe Network has 79 males and 112 females listed as being missing from the state of Washington. Welcome to Thurston County, Washington. Missing male. It was on January 1st, 1963, is when 33-year-old Christopher H. Bridgman Jr., a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Thurston County, Washington. Bridgman was last seen in Thurston County, Washington at a motel in 1963. He vanished after leaving his 6-year-old son alone during a custody visitation at the Martin Way Motel. The 33-year-old Bridgman told his son he had to go visit his father, but the 33-year-old Christopher H. Bridgman Jr. never returned to the motel. Bridgman's children thought their father had deserted them and to pursue a country music career. At the time, the 33-year-old Bridgman was a budding country singer with a hit song that was being played on the local radio stations. In 2004, a cousin called the family with a theory that Bridgman's father had killed his son and buried him in his basement. The theory gained a foothold when the missing man's driver's license turned up in his father's belongings. The grandfather had told family members that he took 2 weeks every year to travel to cities around the West Coast looking for his son and filing missing person reports. No one, including the sheriff's office, could confirm that a missing persons report was ever filed. The sheriff's department searched the grandfather's basement as long as they could, as the house had become unstable. All they found in the area were animal bones. Foul play is suspected in the disappearance of 33-year-old Christopher H. Bridgman Jr. from Thurston County, Washington. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Thurston County Sheriff's Office, Detective Louise Adams at 360-786-5530.
Case 6. Welcome to Arlington, Washington. Missing female. On June 30th, 1989, when 30-year-old Juliana Mae Schubert, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Arlington, Washington. On that day, when Juliana Schubert was last seen at her residence in Arlington, Washington. The 30-year-old Schubert left all of her personal belongings behind at her family's home, including her vehicle. Juliana Schubert has never been heard from again. 1989, the 30-year-old Juliana Schubert was married to David Charles Schubert, but divorce proceedings were nearly complete at the time of Schubert's disappearance. David Schubert has been the prime suspect in his wife's disappearance since 1989. David Schubert was charged with Juliana's murder in 1994, but the charges were eventually dropped when the lead investigator died of leukemia. 30-year-old Juliana Schubert relatives won a cash settlement against David for their two children in 1998, when a civil trial jury found that David was responsible for his wife's murder. Schubert's sons publicly supported their father. They told investigators that Juliana departed from their residence with an unidentified blonde woman driving a red vehicle. David Schubert was charged with hold on, my computer's acting up.
Oh.
Charged with first-degree murder in Juliana's case in October 2001. Law enforcement said that David Schubert spoke to at least one witness while divorce proceedings were underway and mentioned that he wanted to kill Juliana to find peace for himself. Investigators have always believed that David Schubert hid his wife's remains at an undetermined location. David Schubert had stated that Juliana called him from Colorado several days after her 1989 disappearance. David Schubert's claimed she wanted time to herself and simply never returned to Washington. The 30-year-old Schubert's family said that she would never have abandoned her children by her own decision. Foul play is suspected in the disappearance of 30-year-old Juliana May Schubert from Arlington, Washington. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office at 425-388-3839.
Let's take a pause for the cause, and when we return, Olivia and I will profile 6 more missing person cold cases. Be back in a moment. Welcome back to our MJ podcast, this series, Deep Into the Woods, Episode 16, Part 7, 12 Missing Person Cold Cases. Case 7. Welcome to Virginia. The Doe Network has 30 males and 52 females listed as being missing from the state of Virginia. Welcome to Hazel Mountain Section, Virginia. Missing male. It was on April 26, 1990 is when 32-year-old Rodney Lynn Kaiser, a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Hazel Mountain Section, Virginia. On that day is when the 32-year-old Kaiser was last seen by his sister. Kaiser lived on Hazel Mountain off the main road in a mobile home. Kaiser also owned property down the road from where he lived. On that land was another mobile home and a large old storage building with several junk cars. The 32-year-old Kaiser collected many junk cars, and he spent a lot of time working on them while salvaging parts. So Kaiser visits that property often. Kaiser's sister last saw him driving in that direction. The 32-year-old Kaiser ran H&G Market, which was owned by his brother. Before Kaiser started running the store, Kaiser had been a sheriff's deputy. When Kaiser didn't return home and didn't show up to run his store, his family became worried. A girlfriend of Kaiser said that he had left on a trip to Alexandria to visit his brother, but he never showed up at his brother's home in Alexandria. On May 4th, 1990, Kaiser's pickup truck was found parked at his other property's storage building. Kaiser's tan 1983, a Dodge Ram 150 pickup truck still had the keys in the ignition, and the driver's window was partially rolled down. A small case was found under the seat. In the case was Kaiser's checkbook with some cash and food stamps from the store's deposit and a few other items. Kaiser's gun, a .357 Magnum, which his family claims he always kept with him, was missing and it has never been found. Traces of blood were found in the room built on the back of his old mobile home, but it was never determined if the blood belonged to the 32-year-old Kaiser. Money has never been withdrawn from Kaiser's checking or savings account. Foul play is suspected in the disappearance of 32-year-old Rodney Lynn Kaiser from Hazel Mountain Section, Virginia. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Dickinson County Sheriff's Office at 276-926-1600.
Case 8. Welcome to Harrisonburg, Virginia. Missing female. On June 18, 1982, 20-year-old Kelly B. Dove, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Harrisonburg, Virginia. The 20-year-old Dove worked as a clerk at the Imperial gas station located on Main Street in Harrisonburg. At the time, the lone building was an isolated stretch of road about miles south of the James Madison University campus. Dove's 3 sisters all worked at the gas station. On the night of June 17, 1982, Dove agreed to trade with one of them and work the overnight shift. At 2:27 a.m. in the early morning hours of June 18, 1982, Dove made a phone call to the Harrisonburg Police Department. 20-year-old Dove called to make a complaint of receiving an obscene, anonymous phone call and a suspicious person being outside the business. At 2:29 a.m., Dove made a second phone call to make another complaint about a suspicious person being outside the business, and it was possible the person is driving a silver vehicle, maybe a Ford. 20-year-old Dove stated that he was harassing her and had come in station and was dressed improperly. Just before 2:30 a.m., Dove made a third and final call to the police. Dove sounded panicked and stated, "Please hurry, he's back." At 2:31 a.m., a patrol officer with the Harrisonburg Police Department arrived on scene to find the store empty, 20-year-old Kelly Dove missing. An open pack of Marlboro Lights on the gas station counter with a $5 bill stuck in them. Cigarette had burned out halfway in an ashtray nearby, and a book lay on the open counter. Nothing in the station seemed disturbed. All of the cash was intact, and the cash register drawer was closed and secure. Dove's purse was left behind. There were no signs of robbery or foul play discovered. After 7 years had passed with no sign of life, 20-year-old Dove, a married mother of a 4-year-old daughter, was legally declared dead in 1989. Kelly B. Dove's body has never been found. No one has ever been charged in Dove's disappearance. Law enforcement has several people who could be suspects in the case. Due to the circumstances, foul play is suspected in the disappearance of 20-year-old Kelly B. Dove from Harrisonburg, Virginia. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Harrisonburg Police Department at 540-437-2640.
Case 9. Welcome to Utah. The Doe Network has 48 males and 25 females listed as being missing from the state of Utah. Welcome to Salt Lake City, Utah. Missing male. It was on October 12, 1973 is when 23-year-old Douglas H. Brick, a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Salt Lake City, Utah. On that day, the 23-year-old Brick was last seen leaving the Austin Hall dorm at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City, where he was a student. Brick's car was found parked on the campus. Inside the car were Brick's belongings neatly packed as if he was planning to leave. the law enforcement investigation into Brick's disappearance, they learned that the 23-year-old Brick had dropped many of his classes and closed out his savings and checking accounts. It was also learned that Brick had bought a 22 caliber gun and 500 rounds of ammunition shortly before he disappeared. When they searched Brick's dorm room, the gun was missing with one box of shells. The University of Utah Police and the Salt Lake County Search and Rescue conducted searches. The searches were in the foothills behind the university between Block U and the Immigration Canyon with no results. Foul play is suspected in 23-year-old Douglas H. Brick's disappearance from Salt Lake City, Utah. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the University of Utah's Department of Public Safety at 801-585-2677.
Case 10. Welcome to Provo, Utah. Missing female. On June 20th, 1979, when 47-year-old Mary Catherine Miller, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Provo, Utah. On that day, God, again, I keep getting pop-ups. When the 47-year-old Miller disappeared, she was emotionally upset at the time. On July 16th, 1979, a man and his wife riding a motorcycle came across Miller's late model Honda Civic on a remote dirt road leading from Trailhead on Mount Tipanogo. They found a purse with keys and identification in the car. The couple called police. Officers interviewed two sheep herders in the area where the car was found. The herders told police that the woman apparently had gotten the car stuck and had asked them for help. They reported seeing her June 23rd, 1979, walking away from the area where her car was stuck, but the car was in a different location when the couple on the motorcycle found it. One of the herders told police the other man had intended to steal the car and take it to Arizona, where he lived. Police suspected the two of having something to do with Miller's disappearance, but without a body, officers had no evidence of a crime. No charges were filed. Foul play is suspected in the 47-year-old Mary Catherine Miller's disappearance of a registered nurse for 20 years from Provo, Utah. If you have any info concerning this case, please call Provo Police Department at 801-852-6210.
Case 11. Welcome to Texas. The Doe Network has 203 males and 220 females listed as being missing from the state of Texas. Welcome to Bexar County, Texas. Missing male. On July 2nd, 1993, 23-year-old Johnny Perez, a white male, went missing and disappeared without a trace from Bexar County, Texas. On that day, the 23-year-old Perez was last seen at a family barbecue. Later in the evening, Perez left with Jack Lee King to go party. In 1993, law enforcement were told Perez disappeared after leaving the family party to buy snacks, and Perez was with King. King claims when they got to the Exxon at Interstate 35 and South Cross Boulevard, Perez met up with a few women driving a silver car and left. 23-year-old Johnny Perez has never been heard from or seen again. In 2009, King was charged with killing the 23-year-old Perez. According to witnesses, Perez got drunk at a party which lasted in the early morning hours of July 3, 1993, and became very rude. Perez left the party and got into the passenger seat of King's car while he was gone. King returned with a gun and shot the 23-year-old Perez at close range. King then walked to the driver's seat, got in, and drove away with Perez in the car. This is the last time anybody saw Johnny Perez. No one called the police because they did not want to get involved. The witnesses did not give statements until 1996. Jack Lee King was found guilty of murdering 23-year-old Johnny Perez and was given a 60-year prison sentence. Foul play is involved in the case since the body of 23-year-old Johnny Perez has never been found. Perez disappeared from Bexar County, Texas. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Bexar County Crime Stoppers at 210-224-7867.
Case 12. Welcome to Cedar Park, Texas. Missing female. It was on December 14th, 1991, when 29-year-old Vicki Lynn Nesbitt, a white female, disappeared and vanished without a trace in Cedar Park, Texas. On that day, the 29-year-old Nesbitt was last seen leaving her apartment on her way to a company Christmas party in Cedar Park, Texas. Vicki Lynn Nesbitt was an employee of the Texas Municipal League and never missed work before. 29-year-old Nesbitt had never and would never have left her 3 young children alone. December 16th, 1991, her husband, Rex Nesbitt, reported her missing. Her husband said that his wife left bound for Austin, saying she needed some time away. But Nesbitt's parents say it's unlike their daughter to just leave without notice. Nesbitt's couple were scheduled to be divorced in January, so they were living together at the time of Vicki's disappearance. Detectives found traces of blood in the Nesbitt's apartment, and DNA analysis matched the blood to Vicki Nesbitt. They believe the 29-year-old Nesbitt might have been attacked in the master bedroom. It looked like someone had tried to clean up the blood in the room. On February 8, 1992, a brown 1987 Dodge Aries station wagon belonging to 29-year-old Nesbitt was discovered abandoned in a parking lot in Austin, Texas. An anonymous caller led police to the car, which appeared to have been in the lot for several weeks. In 2013, the Williamson County DA indicted Vicki Nesbitt's husband, Rex Nesbitt, for her murder. The DA, having built the case on blood evidence and witnessed her testimony, Rex Nesbitt was convicted for murdering his wife in 2014. The ruling was reversed by an appellate court due to reversible error, and Rex Nesbitt was released in 2017. Foul play is suspected in 29-year-old Vicki Lynn Nesbitt's disappearance from Cedar Park, Texas. If you have any info concerning this case, please call the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, Detective Mary Lewis, at 512-943-1389.
Okay, Olivia, is there anything you would like to add to these cases?
Not to the cases at hand, but why do people, if you're in their car and you hurt them, don't you think they're going to figure out who did it? I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, on two of those...
And then murdering her in her house, the house they lived in. That's the obvious place the police are going to look.
Yeah, and see, two of
right?
the cases, they couldn't even type the blood because they had no record of the victim's blood types. So that also hurts an investigation as far as evidence for any probable cause and any suspect or any search warrant, anything like that, because you can't match the blood type. And
but some of these suspects are just dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, really. And then the Dove case, what took the police so long to get there? How many times did you fool? 3?
Yeah, well, they were right there. Like the last call, it was only a minute in between, and that's what they couldn't figure out, how that quick. But like I said, when she called the last call and was in a panic, that must have been right then and there. They took her because they were there within a minute. Yeah.
He must have been like right in the area or nearby. Could have been even at a payphone at the gas station.
Yeah. Or like I said, and it also feels like, okay, on something like that, there might have been 2 people involved because one person could have been making the phone calls while the other person was watching for the reaction. And
True.
Yeah. And so, yeah, there's all like I said, yeah, it's very,
Crazy.
yeah, very weird circumstances. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to be careful.
yeah,
Never know who's watching.
yeah. Okay, I want to thank Olivia for being on the show tonight. I would also like to thank our viewers and listeners for tuning in, for y'all have been so kind. I have a quote for you all. Families are like fudge, mostly sweet with a few nuts. Les Donson. Always remember, folks, that if you ever get bored with nothing to do, well, take a walk deep into the woods. You might be surprised at what you might find. That's the end of our MJ podcast, this series, Deep into the Woods. This has been episode 16, part 7, 12 missing person cold cases. And we say to all of you, good night from Morrisonville, New York.
Angel came down from heaven yesterday. She stayed with me just enough to rescue him. And she told me a story yesterday about the sweet love between the moon and the deep blue sea. And then she spread her wings high over me. She said she's gonna come back tomorrow. And I say, fly, oh my sweet angel. Fly on through the sky. Fly, oh my sweet angel. Tomorrow I'm gonna be by your side. Sure enough, this morning came unto me. Silhouette silhouetted against the giant sunrise. And my angel, she said unto me, today is the day for you to rise. Take my hand, you're gonna be